And we're live!
Hey!
This wouldn't be Breaks Optional without some technical difficulties to get us started.
Yep.
The technical difficulty this time was I didn't press the button that said start streaming. All right. So we need to get we need to do our intro song. All right, I'll do it. Dun 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 dun. Wait, that's Veronica's song. Sorry. What was our song?
Breaks optional.
Yeah!
Perfect. Short and sweet and to the point. Well, maybe not sweet. I don't know. All right. A little bird told me that Jonathan had some stuff that he was pretty excited about. So
I do. It's a handful of things. I'm kind of excited. Ready to share some of them nothing too groundbreaking. Little nerdy nuggets that I came across.
Nerdy nuggets sounds like a breakfast cereal.
I guess the first one is an interesting project that's been going on for several years, where people have taken the ROM for Mario 64, and they've been going through. What was that? The ROM is basically the I guess the code that you would normally keep in a cartridge that you put in a game system. So that's the data file, the code, everything that runs for Mario 64. And so, for example, if you get Mario 64, stick it into a reader, dump all that onto your computer, and then if you use an emulator, you could run it on your computer. And this is all. Sorry, what were you going to say?
People are making these emulations, the ROMs, to play Nintendo 64 games, right?
Yeah. So Nintendo 64, the emulation on that one hasn't been good. Nintendo. It's a tricky system to emulate. And I don't know all the ins and outs on it. But people have made what they call cycle accurate versions of Super Nintendo emulation, as well as for Nintendo Entertainment System, Sega Genesis, Amiga system, all these game systems. They have emulators that work for it. Emulators that are fairly accurate. Nintendo 64 is so tricky and complex that they have a hard time being able to emulate it accurately and well. And so, for some reason, you can even emulate like Wii very accurately, or GameCube games. But Nintendo 64 has always been a challenge.
I wonder if that's because their hardware was pretty unique.
Yeah, that was a big part of it. That was the hardware, the engineering in the end was kind of weird. People who go in and try to mod it or hack it always tend to shake their heads and look at some kind of weird beast, some kind of weird. Again, I'm no expert when the hardware side. So I don't know what all the tricky bits are in making all that work. But people have challenges with it. So
there's a bunch of videos on YouTube talking about the challenges of emulating N64, but way off in the weeds for me, so I haven't actually watched them. They've been suggested to me.
I've watched some of them, but I understand very little about the hardware side of things. So understanding how to take the hardware and put it into software is something I listen to, but I don't understand.
You know, Damon, the videos that are suggested for me are an Estonian soldier talking about American Marine training.
I get nothing like that.
My YouTube channel might have gone off in the weeds.
Mine can't figure it out. Just when it figures out what I like, my obsession shifts to something new. So 2 years ago, all space news, and YouTube was like, this is easy to keep him entertained. And all of a sudden, World War II tanks. That's it.
Yeah, I get to the point where I have to go through and clean out everything in YouTube because it's just suggesting the same types of videos. And at that point, I think I have an obsession. Time to clean out, and move on. But going back to this issue with the N64 emulation, you have different people who have an interest in making sure that emulation works well and works accurately. One of those groups are people who do speed runs. Another one of them pirates, which I don't condone piracy. I'll do emulation if I own the game.
As the history guy says, don't all good stories involve pirates?
Well,
True that.
Princess Bride certainly did.
Pirates are good.
No.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
No.
Oh, right. So what they've been doing is they've been taking this Mario 64 for several years, and they've been pouring through the binary code, which of course is the version of that code that the computer can read, basically just zeros and ones. And they've been pouring through it, looking at those, and being able to see where there are functions within the ROM. And so they've been taking that and decompiling it by doing analysis and writing just different functions as they would be assigned in the binary for it. The problem is they have no idea what those functions do. All they can do is see what the functions are, what variables are being passed in, what's being defined in there. So they have to give them generic names like function 1, variable 2, so on and so forth.
And I thought that some of my hobbies had no practical end.
Oh wait! Just think it gets better. And so that was the first step, going through and just trying to decompile it to the point where it's written in C rather than just binary, so that you can then go and recompile the code on a computer in C. Okay. The next step is that people have gone through and tried to identify what are these functions, what are these variables, what do they do, and so they've been trying to go back in, rewrite the code so that it's actually legible, so that a programmer can take a look and see how Mario 64 is developed. Now. Some of the reasons for doing this is that it's interesting thing to go and take a look at. Of course, that being said, you have to be very careful when you're doing all this because the Nintendo copyright ninjas are going to hunt you down immediately as soon as you try to do something like this. But you should be able to
have copyright ninjas, wouldn't they?
We insulted our. Does that mean we've met our quota for the day?
I thought we usually hit 2 or 3.
All right. What was I? Oh yes. You have to worry about copyright ninjas. So in this project, as they've been doing it, their goal has been to avoid distributing the assets that are built into it. So as they've taken. Hello.
She grabbed my mic. There you go.
So the goal has been able to take that, pull it out of there, reverse engineer the code, but keep the assets separate. So if you want to work on this, what you have to do is you have to get a ROM on your own. You should do that legally. And then you can extract the assets. So any of the meshes for the characters, any of the images, stuff like that. You have to extract that on your own legally obtained ROM, and you put that into the parts of the code that they have reverse engineered, and that's what they've tried to do, to keep this as legal as possible.
Okay. Hey, hold that thought for just a second. Our fan has sent us a text, and I want to give a shout out to Adam Johnson. How you doing, Adam?
Adam.
Our first official fan, and the reason why we're actually broadcasting today is because our own guilt wasn't enough. We had to have somebody else inflict a little extra.
Yeah, I'm really good at tamping down my own guilt.
As evidenced by our 8 months of not making a new episode.
Complete radio silence.
It's because the whole time we've been planning this episode.
Yes. Which you'll be able to see by the amount of polish put into planning ahead.
Right.
Polish? I thought you said Polish. I've got a bunch of broads back here.
Oh, sounds delicious. All right. Where was I? Oh yes. So they're trying to keep it as legal as possible.
Nora, take her.
There have been a couple of things that have been interesting as people have poured through this. As I mentioned, the speedrunning community has been interesting because they analyze the code and try to figure out different ways that they can work with the Mario 64 ROM or even the cartridge that you can break the game in order to get to the end as fast as possible.
They're not cheating because they're using the game that Nintendo gave them.
Right.
But they're sorting through to find ways to exploit it.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's speedrunning is a weird thing. Look at the way that people get to the end as quick as possible. And they do some weird stuff. And a lot of it is based off of understanding how the game works in and out. To break it the right way, so break through a wall or get someplace that you're not supposed to be as quick as possible. But another interesting thing that has happened recently is that people have discovered that if you recompile it by switching one little bit, changing it from debug mode, it was originally the game was originally compiled in, switching it to production mode and recompiling it. Some of the issues that have Mario 64 for years, like swimming in the water, one level. You have a lot of stuttering that goes on. That goes away when you recompile it that way.
Kidding.
And so people have been recompiling the code to make this ROM that's almost identical. Only it's not in debug mode anymore. Just run more smoothly. But another thing that they've done, and this is the part that has really interested me, is that somebody looked at that and said, "Hey, what happens when you compile this to run on the PC? Can you do that?" And so somebody has taken that code, taken the assets, and made an exe that is made to run on the computer. It's not running in an emulator. It's running strictly in Windows, which means that you have Mario 64 exactly as the original game was made, but made for running in Windows. Which means that you can add other controllers to it. You can use
dedication that somebody has to a game system that is no longer current. But so there's that.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's not very current. And people play Pitfall, right?
They do.
Oh wait, nobody else does that.
That was a frustrating game when it was current.
I've done that.
Sorry, what was that, Damon?
It's been at least 30 years since I played Pitfall.
Yeah, me too. I have played King's Quest recently, though.
Okay.
I've played Peasant's Quest recently, but not King's Quest.
Yes. But that's a current game, right?
That's kind of.
Not so much.
That's like years old.
What, Peasant Quest?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's what I do every day. Hey, should we move on to the next topic?
Sounds good.
Damon, have you got something?
I've got some news. Old news. So
okay.
you know how obsessed about space news nonstop for years. That has moved on to World War II history, and I don't know tanks in particular are fascinating. But the two have overlapped, and I am loving reading and watching as much as I can about the German ballistic missile program, their V2 or A4 program.
Yeah.
It blows my mind what they were able to do in the 40s. It blows my mind.
Those rockets were really dangerous to get set up.
Yeah. Everything about them was really dangerous. And here's a sad fact about it is that the rocket program killed more people than the rockets landing in England. More people, more slave labor, more accidents, more just terrible happening, making the rockets enveloping them than what they actually were able to inflict upon Britain. That's not what this show is about. All right, let's move on from that.
Man, you're what a downer, man.
I am. There's interesting fact that Werner von Braun had. Werner von Braun was the head of the Nazi rocket program in the.
Well, if you let me build rockets, sure, I'll support whatever politics you need.
Pretty much. And then after the war, the U.S. him and I think 3,000 other Nazi scientists and brought him to the U.S. and their records clean and put them to work for what became NASA. So the Saturn V rocket was Werner von Braun's baby. And he had the plans drawn up, and they were working on the development of an intercontinental ballistic missile in the 40s.
Oh, wow.
Their time frame was if they hadn't been interrupted by Americans and Russians and British overrunning them. Their time scale was in late 1946 or 47. They would have a functioning intercontinental ballistic missile from Germany all the way to the U.S. The idea was Hitler wanted to inflict vengeance on the U.S. and he had an obsession with bombing New York City. For whatever reason, New York City for him was something that he wanted to bomb.
It's from watching all those movies.
So it makes me wonder, like, how did the Germans end up basically a decade ahead of everybody else technologically? I mean, politically, they went in a weird place, but I mean, really, the technology of their war engine, there was some really crazy advanced technology back in the 30s and 40s.
Engines. Yep.
I wonder how.
I mean, that's a whole. We could get into that whole can of worms, but it's going to take longer than we have right now. So I'm just going to stick with the interesting stuff to me. So what Werner von Braun had designed a multi-stage, a 3 or 4 stage rocket. And it was using technology from the V2 system, and the V2 or A4 was like the technical name. The V2 was like the political name.
Oh, right, because it's a lot harder to remember A4.
Well, VD stands for the German word for vengeance.
Oh.
And that's and A is just a number.
It should have been obvious.
Anyway, the A. So there was a whole series of these A rockets that were designed, and some of them were actually tested. The A4, which became renamed V2, was the only one that was mass produced. But So there was a whole series of them all the way from A1 all the way to A11 was A11 with A10 on top, A9 on top of that with an 8 on it. I think is the nomenclature. That was going to be the multi-stage rocket going to go all the way to the US. The problem is the guidance system for that, if they use the same technology that they were using on the V2, which was electromechanical, so mechanical gyroscope with electric motors from the 1940s with batteries from the 1940s. So these were all relatively big and heavy for what we're used to. They were all electromechanical, and in order to get good enough accuracy and in order to get a guidance system going to work, it would have been too big, and they would have taken up too much of the capacity.
Circuits didn't get invented until the 1950s, so any electronics would have had to been like vacuum tubes and like coils and electromechanical solenoids and stuff.
Relays, solenoids. Well, exactly. So their solution for this was they were going to put the first astronaut. They were going to launch it with the electromechanical guidance system. But then once it came re-entry and the cruise phase, they were going to have a human pilot that would guide it down, and then like 20 kilometers before the target, he would eject and would parachute to the ground. So he would get it pointed at the right target, and eject.
Oh, wow.
And they were on their way having the first astronaut in space as a pilot or a missile.
That'd be a lovely one-way journey.
Yeah. I mean, you're not gonna have a whole lot of fans. You just dropped out base and bombed the city, and then landed right after you bombed it.
As they're coming in, would they have to grab their cap and go woohoo? Woo! That's an old reference. Do you know what that is, John?
No, that was what the U.S. astronauts had to do once Werner von Braun moved to the U.S.
Oh, okay. Well, what did the Germans had to of saying?
Mein Leben. All right. So we've already managed to offend the Poles. Now we're offending the Germans.
The Japanese.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah. The Germans were well on their way onto having a ballistic missile with the world's first astronaut. But then the pesky allies came in and steamrolled them.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, so Damon, answer me this: why do big rockets go up in stages?
The rocket equation is a cruel mistress. Is why. So okay. The more that you want to put up into space, the more fuel you need, but which means that you have to lift more fuel. So you need more fuel to lift that more fuel. So in order to get around that, I think everybody can picture a Saturn V rocket in their head. Big huge bottom part, and then it goes up to the next stage, and then tapers down, and then tapers down. Each one of those spots where it divides off the stage. So the bottom stage is huge, immensely powerful, and it has just tons of fuel, and huge engines, and that fuel and engines. Their job is to get the stage high enough that it can take over, and then it jettisons, and gets rid of all that heavy engines, big empty fuel tanks. So now you have a lighter rocket rocket with the second stage. So the second stage ignites and takes over. And its sole job is to lift the third stage and whatever else is on top of the third stage to where it can take over. The second stage gets jettisoned. So now you have a smaller, lighter rocket as big an engine. So that's what multi-stage. That's what you need multi-stages for.
And it's the same reason why the space shuttle was strapped to 3 rockets, 2 solid rocket boosters and 1 oxygen hydrogen engine, right?
So that middle one was just the tanks to feed the engines on the space shuttle itself. Essentially. But 2 solid boosters on the side, and then the oxygen tank in the middle.
Yeah.
And then a few inboard fuel tanks for maneuvering. But once you're up in orbit, then you don't need a whole lot of energy in your orbit. You're going to change. You're going to change the moon. You're going to need a whole lot more than space shuttle. It can only get to low Earth orbit.
So it was never going to go. It was never going to go to the moon.
No, completely incapable.
Okay. So we ready to switch gears again?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm going to start out in space and then come down below the ground.
Space submarines?
No.
Space drills?
Ballistic missiles dropping rocks from space. Actually, it would be really a terrible thing if you could push an asteroid so that it could get captured by Earth's gravity and slam into the Earth. You could end up with an extinction level event. But that's.
Are we talking about supervillains plans then? Because somehow supervillains plans keep coming up in our episodes.
No. Why would you say that?
Okay.
But,
You planning something, Elroy?
Apparently, no, I'm not planning something. Apparently, if you wake up in the wee hours of the morning and look to the southern sky, there is a green-blue comet that is passing through the solar system, and it's supposed to get to its brightest point around May 29th. Supposedly it's easier to see in the southern hemisphere, but I think after it swings around the other side of the sun, it's going to be easier to see in the northern hemisphere, and it'll be in the evening sky instead of the morning sky. It's called the comet Swan, I think is what it was called. And its tail is 10 million miles long.
Whoa.
Which is about 1/9 the distance between the sun and the Earth, or 1/9 of an astronomical unit. But apparently it's not huge, but you can see like a greenish glow in the southern sky. So I may have to force myself to wake up early enough in the morning to see that. But I'm a big fan of sleeping in lately.
And when is that? What's it called?
The Swan Comet, or Comet Swan, something like that. My mother-in-law posted it on Facebook, so I had to look it up. That's pretty cool. But if you miss it this time, it'll swing back around in about 12,000 years.
Oh. I'll just wait.
Okay.
I'll sleep, mate.
Maybe it'll show up at noon or something. It's a little more convenient next time. So now I want to swing down underground. But before I go underground, I want to. Shelly and I have been working on our house, as you guys know, for a long time, and we've gone through and replaced all of the insulation, and we're getting ready to put in a new heater air conditioner unit. And so I've been researching air conditioning and heating, and just generally obsessing about it. And I ran across something that's related to something that we all know, or we think we know, but different, and that is heat pumps. And these are really fascinating. An air conditioning unit is a heat pump. It pumps heat from inside your house to outside your house.
I thought you said heat pump. Kind of like steam pump. Okay. Now that I know where we are, we go back talking about heat pumps.
Yeah. So you can install a really simple heat pump in a room, and you don't have to run ductwork and stuff, and it just goes up next to your ceiling, and you can have it blow hot or cold air into the room. And all it's doing, so instead of like an air conditioner, it can also heat the air, but where it gets its heat from is outside. So in the winter, it gets down around freezing, it will still pull heat from outside and pump it into the house. And you might say, wait a minute, if it's freezing, where's it getting heat? If it's 0 degrees out. Well, the answer is it's not 0 degrees out, and it's not 32 degrees. 0 degrees Celsius is actually 270 degrees Kelvin.
Right.
0 degrees Kelvin is absolute zero, where there's no heat left. But when it's 0 degrees Celsius out, there's still heat in the air. And so a heat pump can pump the heat from outside inside and make 68 degree temperatures, 70 degree temperatures inside your house from the heat it's taking from 0 degree weather outside. Yeah. I see Damon's thinking about this.
Yeah. I know ways of using Freon to move heat around. Use like phase changes around. But if you're just moving air around, what's the mechanism here?
Well, it's quite simple. You just have a filter that collects heat and lets all the cold pass through.
I've got a technical issue to deal with. Lewis is telling me that Damon and John are echoing terribly. So I'm going to look at... I think I've got to turn my desktop audio out. Nope, that was already off. Let's see, I've got my mic. I'm going to turn my mic down a little bit. Maybe I'll turn on my Skype. Sorry people. I'm gonna.
Do you remember last time you had to turn off your desktop audio in?
Okay, so I had desktop audio off. Do one of you guys have the stream up right now?
I do.
Okay. You want to listen to it? I know there's probably like a 20-second delay or something.
Okay, I'm gonna test something right now. We'll see how it comes through.
Okay. So you were asking, how does a heat pump collect heat? Okay, you guys say something, because I don't think I was echoing. So did we get buffered? You guys need to talk.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm listening to the stream, so if I get a little...
I put Creole seasoning in chicken noodle soup, so it has a kick.
Nice.
So you'll like it. I said you're not talking about anything about I decided no offense.
Kylie just announced that she put Creole seasoning in the chicken noodle soup.
The last thing I said is still just very echoey.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to turn my sound on my computer down. It might be picking it up. Okay.
The best way to
Okay. I'm talking now.
Yeah, that's what Lewis suggested was headphones. Okay, Jonathan, Damon, say something.
Okay. Am I echoing still?
You got to keep talking because there's like
Okay, I'll keep talking. We'll keep testing.
Technical difficulties, of course.
Yeah, all of our sessions have technical difficulties. We plan those ahead, actually.
Yes, all part of the show. Okay.
Do we still have an echo?
Yeah, last I heard, there's still an echo.
Okay.
So when Damon said, "Am I echoing still?" the answer is yes. He's echoing still.
Last thing I said still just very echoey.
So it's not as bad as it was, John.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'm going to just type on here, we think the echoing is a little better now. Okay. Did we fix anything?
I'm still echoing as far as I can see.
Oh, okay.
Well, how about we let you finish, and I'll be quiet.
Oh, okay. So let's do this. When you're not talking, mute your microphone.
Okay.
So we'll see if that helps it. All right. Yeah. So you asked, how do you get heat from cold? Well, the way that it works, and the way an air conditioner works, is you have a refrigerant. So Freon, colloquially, is what we call it, or it's a brand name. And it's in a gas, and so your refrigeration system, compresses that gas down, and so it gets really hot, but it's really high pressure, and then it gets pushed through some tubes that bleed off that heat that you're creating. Because when you compress a gas, it gets really hot because the molecules start vibrating really fast, and so then it gets pushed into a tube that's a heat exchanger, and so in the case of a heat pump trying to heat up a house, it's going to have those coils inside the heating unit in the house, and so it's going to compress down that gas. It's heating up, gets pushed through these tubes, and as the heat bleeds off, then because the gas is under high pressure, it actually condenses into a liquid, and by the time it comes out the other end of the heat exchanger, so it's drained off all the heat that it collected by compressing the air, and then you send that liquid back outside, still under pressure, but then you squirt it through an orifice into kind of a chamber, an expansion valve, and so all of a sudden it's not under pressure, the gas expands, becomes a gas again, the liquid expands and becomes a gas again, and as something goes from a liquid into a gas, it absorbs a lot of energy, and so this gas being outside, even if it's 0 degrees out, as it expands, the temperature of that gas is actually lower than the surrounding air, the air that's surrounding the coil, the heat exchanger that it has outside, and so it actually sucks heat in to kind of make everything the same temperature. So then that heated up, it's 0 degrees, goes back into the compressor, which again compresses it down, heating it up even more, and then sends it through. And it turns out that you can do this for water heaters too, and you can have like a water heater that's more efficient than heating with like natural gas. It's crazy, and or more efficient than electricity. And I thought, how could it be more efficient than electricity? Because electricity is just, you're turning electricity, you're basically vibrating molecules in a conductor to heat it up, and so it's like 1-to-1, you're just converting electricity into heat. But it turns out that a heat pump, you can actually get like 300% efficiency, because you're not generating the heat, you're just transferring the heat from one place to another. So you can have like 3 times as efficient by using a heat pump. I just thought that was super fascinating. So to take it one step further than this, when it gets colder than freezing, the best heat pumps right now, commercially available heat pumps, only work down to about -9 degrees, and after that, they're not very efficient as they approach this -9 degrees, and then they just stop working when it gets that cold, because they just can't pull enough heat out to make it help. But there is something you can do so that you can use a heat pump year round, and that is, rather than trying to pull heat out of frigid air in the winter, you bury coils of liquid, of water with an antifreeze in it, under the ground. And if you go deep enough, the temperature stays about 55 degrees year round, which is plenty of heat for heating a house. If you have enough coils, your heat pump can pull heat out of that 55 degree ground, and then transfer that into the house.
That ground is a really big heat sink. Heat sink.
Hundreds of feet of coil under the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Amazing efficiencies apparently by doing it, and it's called geothermal heating or cooling, because it works both ways. In the summer, you use it to cool your house. So like when you're trying to cool your house off, your air conditioner outside is trying to push heat into hot air. So like when it's 100 degrees outside, your air conditioning is working really hard to suck heat out of your house and push it into 100 degree air, and if it's in the sun, it's even worse, because it's absorbing radiant energy from the sun. But a heat pump, it's the same in the summer as it is in the winter. So like when like an air conditioner is working least efficiently when you need it the most, and a heat pump heater is working least efficiently when you need it the most. But if you go geothermal, then when you need it the most, it's got plenty of heat to pull out of the ground, or it's got plenty of capacity to dump heat into the ground. I've kind of geeked out on that, and as we're thinking about building our new house, I've pretty well decided that that's what I want to do for my new house, is do geothermal heating and cooling. Nice. So, anyway, I'm out of stuff to talk about. I don't know if anything popped into you guys' heads.
I do have another
next episode, and then I can tell you all about the German space tanks.
German space tanks.
I do have more that I want to talk about. I don't know if our technical difficulties have been resolved. It might be better to wait till I don't sound like I'm just echoing all the time.
Yeah, and I think my family is getting tired of hiding in the corner, being quiet.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody that hopped on. I think we've got at least 3 people. Oh, we've got 4 viewers, and 2 of them might be you. I think we've got Lewis, Adam, and Adam's family.
I signed off about 5 minutes ago. So hooray! There's probably another one. Hi, Mom.
All right. So we'll sign off for now. And anyway, it was fun, and look forward to doing our next episode later.
Okay. Thank you.
Sayonara.
Bye.